to give you a little public service announcement in support of the referees here. I want you to remember one thing. In order to have a football game, you need 4 things. You need a ball, you need a field, you need an opponent, and you need the referees. They are out there doing a job to make sure this game is played by the rules, fairly, and they are doing a great job. So if you ever hear the ref say something and you disagree, I want you to remember, they're right, you're wrong.
And here we are, off topic with Tim and Matt, our wonderful little sports show where we always go off topic. Okay, so big news around the NFL, a bunch of coaching hires and a bit of a controversy following the rest. But first, let's go with the hires. Who stood out for you in the whole carousel this season?
Well, the one that stands out the most is because it's the biggest head scratcher is the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, for God's sake.
I mean, when we sat here and we talked, we looked at what the options were, and I think one of the best options that we had said was
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
And
they're talking about prime time,
yeah.
and he came back out and said, "Nope, not leaving. I don't want to coach the NFL. I do make the most change here. Have the biggest influence with these young men." And so he wants to stay where he is. They hired Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, and everybody's like, "Who?
Yeah.
Who's that?" Jerry Jones like, "We're all in. We're going to get back on top. We're going to be back relevant again." And I'm like, "Who?" Brian Schottenheimer. Now I know who he is because his dad used to coach the Chargers.
Yeah, Marty Schottenheimer.
Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame coach, great coach, phenomenal guy.
Never won a ring.
But he brought teams. He had the Detroit Lions with Barry Sanders. He had the San Diego Chargers.
Right, yeah.
Took him to 14-2 season. He was such a good coach. And Brian is a good coach. He's been a great offensive coordinator. He's been a quarterback coach. He is a good coach. Getting the opportunity to coach in Dallas, though, I don't know how this is going to help his career. If he does well, it's going to be because it was Dallas.
Yeah.
If he does poorly, it was because he screwed up Dallas.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think this here is going to be hard on him, right? And it was like that Josh McDaniels, who left New England under Bill Belichick and went and coached Denver.
Yes.
And everything just fell apart on him. Right? And he's never really recovered, goes back to New England, goes back under Belichick, does well, great offensive coordinator, and he gets another opportunity, but it's Oakland.
Yeah.
Right? And he goes into he went into 2 situations that weren't good.
No.
And his chances of success weren't great. Right? And it went poorly. I really worry for Brian Schottenheimer here, but you got to take these opportunities when they're there. I really worry for the Dallas Cowboys fans.
I know. Nobody likes them. They're like Leafs fans. They're delusional.
I saw this thing the other day that Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels were both born, raised, gone to school, gone to college, been drafted, and played in NFC Championship games since the last time the Dallas Cowboys were in an NFC Championship game.
That was very funny. I've seen that.
Yeah, I see that. I kind of laughed a little bit. But you know what? You like to see them rise from the ashes. Jerry Jones makes it not possible.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Harold Ballard from the Leafs all those years ago. He's just nuts. Here's the problem. He's nuts. Last season, these wide receivers can't make touchdowns in the end zone because the screens at the stadium weren't down and the sun is beaming into their eyes and they can't see anything. And everyone's like, close the screens. Oh, he's not going to do it because people tell him to do it. He's just nuts. And he goes and gets the Schottenheimer guy because why? He wants another yes man.
Yeah.
Because why? Because he says he's going to go all in, but he doesn't because really he's just cheap.
Yeah.
Because why? Because he wants a yes man. He wants to be in charge. He wants it all about him. And he can't figure out, it's like they had the Thanksgiving Day game against the Giants. And they win the game. Well, who cares? He beat the Giants. They suck. They're a crappy team, and everyone's in his little swivel chair up in his booth, and everyone's congratulating him, shaking his hand, patting him on the back. They just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He surrounds himself with nut jobs who kiss his ass, tell him what he wants to hear, and nobody stands up to him. Because if you stand up to him, you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
You know what? Get fired. Why'd you get fired? Because I stood up to Jerry Jones and told him what he's doing is wrong. I don't have a job, but I got my dignity, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Once he's gone, I'm sure his son will take over and he'll just start changing things, start listening to people. And, you know, the Hunt family in KC, we've touched on this in other podcasts. KC's in the middle of nowhere in some dust bowl, and he builds this dynasty. Why? Because he hires people, they're good at their job, he spends money to make money, and he just gets out of the way. He's at the stadiums.
Yep.
He's at the games, but he's not telling anybody what to do. No. He gets good people. You're in charge. I hire you to do this. Go do your job. He does it. They win Super Bowls, and then he takes a step back and lets the team, you know. Jerry Jones wants to be there and be the man, be the reason they win, and he's 85 years old and three-quarters senile, and it's not going to work. You know, it's just like a big dud. Like he just laid an egg. Like, God, what a... And then what are the other ones that came around?
Las Vegas Raiders. So with the Raiders, they were talking about Ben Johnson from the Lions offensive coordinator.
Should have had that gold medal from Seoul, but anyway.
Aaron Glenn, Lions defensive coordinator. There was a bunch of them in there. Chiefs defensive coordinator. The Robert Saleh, he was a Jets head coach. He was in there, but they ended up hiring Pistol Pete Carroll. 73-year-old Pete Carroll, who'll be the oldest coach ever to coach an NFL game when he takes the field with Las Vegas in Week 1 at 74 years old.
So I'm wondering, I think Tom Brady had a bit to do with this.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Two things. Mark Davis was in the stands when the team lost like their 10th in a row, and he's in his luxury box, and he's just like shaking his head like this is a disaster, and the fans are like, you suck. Sell the team. We hate you. Like saying to his face.
Yeah.
Right? He's not used to being spoken to this way. And I'm wondering if maybe he went to Tom Brady and said, dude, you got to fix this.
Yeah.
This is a nightmare. We got to fix this. Like, let's do just anything. Just fix it. So you bring in Dinosaur Man, Grandpa, and I'm wondering if he's going to be there for a few years and he's got a kid winning, 50-year-old assistant who's just going to take over once he's done.
Well,
let's turn this around. Here's how you build a winner. Now you take over. I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's the way it's going to. If it was me, that's what I'd say, Pete, how long do you want to do this for? Here's the money. But when you're ready to retire, I need a guy who's going to step in and keep this winning.
Yeah.
It's possible. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Raiders fan, so I have no idea, but that's my guess. Because, it's a Hail Mary, man. They're done. Like, they want to win.
Well, and that's the thing is that he brought in Chip Kelly, right, who's is a head coach himself with San Francisco, Philadelphia, whatnot, but a very smart offensive coordinator. He's going to come in as the offensive coordinator for the Raiders here with them. And I think their defensive coordinator they kept.
Yeah. So any of those guys could step in.
Yeah.
They just need a name who wins, who's just going to get some profile for them, because right now it's a bit of a joke. And Robert Saleh would be an entry. He ended up in KC, back to his old job in KC. San Fran, pardon me.
San Fran, defensive coordinator.
Right.
And that was the thing. But they've got Patrick Graham has been the defensive coordinator for 4 years with Oakland.
Right.
And if Oakland has anything going for it, it is their defense.
Yeah, despite the record.
Exactly. Yeah. But, they don't lose. They don't get outgunned a lot. They're losing low-scoring games. So if your team's got to be able to put up 21 points, right? Because if your defense can keep the other team to 19, you got to put up 21, right?
You just can't do it,
You can't pitch shutouts every game.
No.
So there's Oakland. Who else did we get here? Jacksonville hired Liam Cohen.
Another dumpster fire. I don't think it's going to make any difference. It's such a mess.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the Panthers. Yeah. There's only so many coaches going around.
It's crazy because Jacksonville's got his quarterback
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. And Liam Cohen works as the offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay. Really did a good job with Baker Mayfield.
Offensive coordinator.
Offensive.
He's
spoke a little fast for Tim
organized.
this morning.
The events coordinator.
So for the record,
we got Conway Twitty, and he's been dead. Let's get him in.
For the record, it was Tim's birthday yesterday, and now I got to talk even slower now, so he understands me. I start talking fast sometimes.
There you go.
Liam Cohen was the offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay. Did some really good work with Baker Mayfield this year, the last 2 years, and. They say that he has got a great football mind. This is his first chance of being a head coach, Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville is that team that wants to move to England and play out of England. You know, Con, the owner.
What, London? Like permanently?
Yeah.
Like permanently.
Like all their home games be in London. Right? And so I don't know if they're...
The Concorde doesn't exist anymore, so good luck getting there for NFL Sunday and getting over the jet lag.
Yeah, I know, right?
And you can't even get a decent cup of coffee for go. There's like one good coffee place in London.
But so, you know,
bangers and mash.
It's a weird hire. To me, it's a weird hire. The Bears hired Ben Johnson, so he's staying within the division. So Ben Johnson was the offense coordinator for the Lions.
Yeah.
Now he's the head coach for the Bears. He had opportunities at almost all the openings. We wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
And he jumped to the Bears right away. So he sees something in Caleb Williams. He knows what kind of draft capital they have this year.
The Bears they need an offensive line.
Yes.
Right? Because Caleb Williams can only do so much. And they did, ever since Jim McMahon, they've been eating quarterbacks.
Yep.
So that's the first thing he has to fix. But you fix that, and now your offense is done, right?
Yep.
You've got your offense. Once you get the O-line, your offense is fine.
Yep.
Because you got a really good quarterback. I mean, Caleb Williams is good. Like, he's really good. And once you get that organized, then you can work in your defense.
Yep.
It's not easy, but it's what's wrong. So
but their defense isn't horrible either.
No.
You know, it's another team with a decent defense.
Tools are there. You just have to put it together.
And the problem is that you get these teams that have decent defenses, but they're on the field for the whole game.
Yeah, I know.
Because the offense is 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. So much. So you need to get the offensive firing so the defense is off the field for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And they can get a break. They can get some air. Get a Gatorade or,
smoke a cigarette.
What was it like? What did Jason Kelsey said? He gets off the field and has an Uncrustable and recollects himself, And, you want...
Just one. Guy looks like he need a whole factory, for God's sake.
New England hired Mike Vrabel. He was the Titans coach. They fired Jeremiah after just one season and brought in Mike Vrabel. He was a New England player, knows the culture. I think that's a good fit.
Yeah.
And then the Jets hired Aaron Glenn, who is the defensive coordinator for the Lions.
Yeah.
So Jets have gone with a defensive coordinator again.
See, I think I'd rather take over a D2 college team and push it to D1 instead of taking over like the Jets and just putting up with that absolute dumpster fire gong show. You can be the best. You could have Belichick at his prime. You wouldn't be able to turn that team around. Like it's a nightmare from the top down to the bottom.
It is.
But like you said, opportunity knocks and you're dumb not to take it. So.
And Aaron Glenn is a good defensive coordinator. Once again, Jets have a really good defense.
Yeah.
Questions about Rodgers wants to come back for another year.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams wants to be there for the whole year. They've got some good running backs. They don't have a bad O-line, right?
Aaron Rodgers is toxic, and that's kind of the issue there.
Yeah, I think that's something they got to look at. But I mean, do they run with him for another year? Draft a rookie? They got a pretty good draft pick this year. I don't know
if they get a quarterback, though. I don't know. The thing about quarterbacks, there's always going to be good quarterbacks at a draft.
Yes.
Every single year, there's that one quarterback or two or three that are just really good. And you don't have to rush and get a quarterback right away. So build up your O-line. Where you're really hurting, where it's hard to draft, if there's who's the defensive end coming out of Penn State? Abel Clark?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Clark?
No, I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of the name right now.
Yeah, Abdul Clark.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get an Abdul Clark, cross-generational player, you go with that one, because there's going to be another quarterback coming up in another few years. So,
well, and that's the thing. Like you got to look where you're sitting, where your draft is, and take the best player for your team at that position. Right? And the Jets have a lot of holes to think about filling. Yeah. Right?
Start small. Start the biggest game. I mean, the biggest thing is your O-line, your defense. You're not winning anything with it. All the quarterbacks in the world aren't going to win you games with it. So there's someone who can fill a major gap in on the defense. Draft that. Next year, we need something for the O-line. Draft that. There's always going to be a quarterback. And you can always pick up some guy, like Geno Smith.
Yeah.
He'll just fill the gap until you're ready to really move in on a quarterback.
Well, and there's so many people that you could. And one of the things that I saw was them having trading Sam Darnold back there. Sam Darnold going back there. I mean, like, are you kidding me? Is that where his PTSD started?
Sam Darnold needs to go to the Seahawks, if you ask me.
Yeah. So, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. No.
J.J. McCarthy, once he gets his broken leg healed.
You brought it up, and another person, I saw it again, is J.J. McCarthy's had 2 major surgeries, hasn't even played an NFL game yet, and Seattle might be a good landing spot for him. It's home to him.
Well, they have to be willing to trade him, and they have to be willing to give up
a lot to get
him.
Yeah.
And that's going to hurt you long term. They're better off going with the Sam Darnold. He's only 29.
Yeah.
He's not very old.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a flash in the pan season, maybe not, but he's not 37-year-old Geno Smith.
It'd be interesting because Darnold was only there on a year contract.
Yeah. So it wouldn't cost him anything.
When the new season opens in March and they start signing players, Darnold, I think, is going to be sought after pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. I think they wouldn't cost him. Money it would cost them, but they won't have to give anything up to get him.
Yeah.
And they still have a decent draft pick, and they get that, pass rusher or whoever they want. So, yeah.
Whatever holes they need to fill.
Marcus Freeman, God love him, did not leave Notre Dame. Yeah. There was talk there. 36 years old.
I know.
Like, that is crazy. 36 years old. And he played at Ohio State. His dad was a huge Ohio State fan. Begged him to go to Ohio State, and then they cream him in the college championship. Like, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's Marcus Freeman. I hope he stays 10 years at Notre Dame, gets them their championship, because I think he will. Very, very savvy guy, and then maybe go to the NFL from there. But he's got to win a championship before he can go. He needs to be 46 instead of 36.
Yeah.
And he needs to win a national championship before he can go to the NFL, because it's just 2 different worlds. But anyway.
The thing is, though, you don't want to step into the NFL as a head coach out of college, because no one's going to put faith in you. Your players are going to have faith in you. Your fan bases are going to have faith in you. They're all going to say how anybody that's come straight from college into a head coach position that's not named Pete Carroll has not succeeded.
Yeah, that's true.
Game.
That's very true. Yeah.
Come in and learn the big game. Yeah. Be an offensive coordinator, be a defensive coordinator, work your way up. And at 46, he's 36 now. At 40, come in and be a coordinator. At 45, then maybe you're ready for the big show, big name.
Go back to college, win a championship, come back in. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, the other thing we want to talk about right now is the absurdity that is going on the internet.
Who doesn't have time for a little conspiracy theory?
But this has gone
a little.
Just a little. And this has gone on for a while now. And it usually just makes me laugh, but now it's kind of getting irritating.
Right.
And it's gotten so bad that Goodell's come out and said, that's absolutely ludicrous. Stop it.
It is.
And the referees have actually replied now.
Yeah.
Because, and I'll just read you a bit here. The day after Goodell called it a ridiculous theory, and they're being asked these questions in press conferences.
All right, so just back up a tiny bit. There's a belief out there that there's a conspiracy that the refs are calling games in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
Right? That's the conspiracy, which is just, they just find a way to win. But anyway, keep going.
It is insulting and preposterous to hear conspiracy theories that somehow 17 officiating crews consisting of 138 officials are colluding to assist one team.
Yeah.
And NFL officials are graded every week on every single play of each game. These grades are the determining factor as to who receives postseason assignments. The NFLRA commends its members who all strive to do exactly what all 32 NFL teams do, which is excel at their jobs so that they are working the last game of the season, the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they get paid. This is their job.
Yeah.
Right? And we've heard the script. The script is out. This is how the season's going to end. And it's already been posted on what the final score is for tomorrow because someone leaked the script.
Yeah.
All right, if there's a script, no one's leaking it. All right? But there isn't a script.
Who are they leaking it to? Some nerd that lives in his basement at his mother's house? Give me a break.
So after 2 weeks ago, Buffalo plays KC.
Yeah.
4th down. Josh Allen goes to run for it. Gets stopped. It is close. It is right tight.
A split second, too.
Yeah, split second. They see it, and they go to the review assist, and the review assist says, no, it's not.
Well, the review assist, and here's part of where the controversy comes from, has to be definitive.
Exactly.
So if it isn't definitive, this is blatantly obvious, then they can't overturn the call.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was so close, it was just, you couldn't tell. But now they're talking bring digitize this and that into it. It'll slow the game down even more.
Put a sensor in the football, and if it goes past, then you know it's true.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but then why have referees then if you got all these sensors and stuff?
And where's the sensor going to be? Because it's got to be either at one end or the other. Because if the nose of the football is that far over the line, where's the sensor? The sensor might be over here, so it wouldn't make any difference anyway.
Yeah. So
or over here, my finger.
And here's the thing is if flopping has always been a thing in every sport. You got flopping. You got a penalty for flopping.
Oh yeah, drawing a penalty. Yeah.
Yes.
Embellishment.
Yeah. But I mean, like everybody does. Tries to go right up to the line. So if you're a defensive lineman and you're trying to rush through, and the offensive lineman's blocking you, you're going to throw your hands up and go, "Oh my God, he's holding me! He's holding me! I can't make it!" Right? Trying to draw that penalty. So the referees are looking for that. It's not holding if he has a hand on the chest and a hand on the back and he's pushing him that way. Yeah. That's not holding, right?
This is holding.
That's holding.
And sometimes they miss it.
Yeah.
Even though the ref's standing right there.
That's holding.
Yeah.
Right? Getting your arm around him and stopping him's holding. Blocking. Like there's a big difference. If you don't understand football, don't go on the internet spewing. Don't take a picture and draw with a crayon where you think the freaking first down is, and be like, "See, it went by. It went by." Like some of this stuff is just ludicrous.
And you have to look at the game in the whole context of a game. How many mistakes do the players make when they could have won it?
Yeah.
Compared to the refs, right?
Yeah.
Every team, even the Buffalo Bills in a tight game against Kansas City, had a dozen opportunities to put that game away, and they didn't capitalize on no controversial call whatsoever. It's humanity. They make mistakes because it's happening in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
The players do it, the refs do it, we do it, you do it. It's humanity, and all the digitized crapola in the world. It's not going to be fun anymore. It's part of the game, for God's sakes, and the thing I like most, one of the Buffalo players came out and said, the ref thing, it's crap.
Yeah.
We didn't lose because of the refs. We lost because we didn't play hard enough to win the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
And this is the player
and they brought it. Buffalo brought it. They had a great game, but they just couldn't do it enough to get the last 4 points to win the game.
You don't leave it in the referee's hands.
No.
And that's the thing. If Josh Allen's is running that ball and he's got to get a first down, you get the first down plus a yard.
Yeah, and it's where's the O-line?
Yeah.
Where was the O-line on that fourth down?
Give it a shove there.
Yeah.
They knew it was on the line there, and they went for it, and they got stopped. They're not screaming that the referee cost them the game.
No. And when they went for it, they could have pulled a trick play.
Yeah.
Because they knew he was going to rush the ball.
100%.
They could have dropped back and screened past it and got the half step. They could have mixed it up.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, they could have done it, but they didn't do it. They went for the classic play. The defense knew what was going to happen, and they just stopped them. And, yeah, it was close, but you know what? Them's the breaks, kids. So, yeah.
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 And I really like what he says here about, they're doing what every member of the 32 NFL teams are trying to do, is that be there in that final game.
Yeah.
These guys don't do this referee job because they're being forced to or told they have to, or they do it because they take pride in being out there and making the right calls.
And you don't win when you're a ref.
Yeah.
You don't win. Like, they don't get a Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
They don't come off the field with people saying, "Hey, great job," 90,000 fans saying, "We love the refs." It's a thankless job. I don't know why anybody does it, because it's just horrible. They make good money, but then the physical requirements for them to stay in shape, it's equal to the players. Those guys are cut.
Yeah.
Like, they're cut. It's a tough.
They're running the field.
It's a tough. You start off doing high school, you get into junior college, you go to college, you get into the NFL, and you still got to work your way up. It's a grind.
Yeah.
A physical, mental grind. They have families in Florida and California and wherever they live, and they're on the road all week. And it's a tough, thankless job, and God love them for doing it, because I wouldn't be caught dead putting on the zebra stripes.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, they say, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes is out there talking and chatting with them." Of course he is.
All the players do.
When I coach football, I'm chatting with the referees before the game starts. Coaches, players, they're all there to do the same thing. Yeah. And there's 3 things that you need to have a football game. You need a ball, you need an opponent, and you need an official.
Yeah.
And they are a key part of the game. They take a lot of pride in their game. And I've said this to parents when I've been coaching football at the Pee Wee level, at the Adam level, and I said, if the ref says something and you think something else, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It does not matter. If the ref throws a flag and you don't think it's a penalty, you're wrong.
Yeah.
The ref is right. That's it. If there's anything that you could say about the referees is thank you for calling that game.
Yeah.
You know, did they make a mistake? They're human.
Yeah.
Right? Did they
How
miss
many
a call?
mistakes? How many mistakes did they make according to the players on the field?
0.
Right?
Yeah.
They make 1 or 2 bad calls, and then the coaches and the players make dozens.
Yeah.
You know?
And just because your favorite player is throwing up his arms going, it wasn't me.
Blaming the refs is the anthems of the losers.
Yeah.
You don't like the outcome, so you're going to blame the refs because you're a loser. Your team lost, and that's why you blame somebody else for your mistakes and whatever.
Knock it off.
Yeah, get off the internet. Move out of your parents' house.
Come up out of the basement, get some sunlight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's not going anywhere. Drive to the Starbucks instead of having it delivered to you.
Get off my lawn. All right.
That wraps up our little kvetching session on the refs. Go refs. Everybody have fun at the Super Bowl. I don't know. Yay team. There we go. Marcus Freeman, you're my man. All right, that's it. Thank you for tuning in for Off Topic with Tim and Matt, where we always go
Off Topic.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. VBN Sports, Off Topic, Tim and Matt on YouTube.